first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Dibler. Thanks for joining us. We are live streaming on our YouTube channel, of course at KPTV.com, and on the Fox 12 Oregon apps. We go throughout the afternoon between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. every weekday, covering a wide range of topics. And if you are watching live, I'm going to tell you this. 1 week from today is the Oregon Charity Championship Golf Tournament, which is going to involve a number of different pretty incredible charities and nonprofits from around the region, all competing for a big prize, but also letting us all know a little bit more about their organizations and some of the great things they do for the communities that they serve. And one of those organizations happens to be Playworks, and we're joined right now by Taylor Timms, the Associate Program Director. And Taylor, thank you very much for having some time to talk to us about, what you do. We're going to talk about golf here in a minute too, but before we get to that, for everybody out there, would you mind just telling us about Playworks and about the organization as a whole?
Gladly. Yes, so Playworks is the leading national nonprofit supporting schools and other youth-serving organizations to create equitable and safe play spaces. So we are out at recess quite a bit, working with staff and principals and other organizations to make play inclusive, engaging, and empowering for students. So they take over their own recess, they are solving conflicts on their own, supporting each other peer-to-peer, and just working with staff at schools to help support play and teach those students some great life skills and things they'll take with them, hopefully for the rest of their lives.
Nice. Recess seems like that would be a very important place to do that, and a very good, grounds to do that as well when out there running around, but having to deal with other students or encountering other things, encountering conflicts and figuring out how to handle those. So when you go out there, can you go into just a little more detail about some of those different things that you do when you're working with all of these different student populations on helping them with this?
Yeah, so a lot of the things, we see some challenges at recess of just kind of like you said, students are out in one big play space with maybe kids they don't interact with on a daily. They're not their students sitting next to them in class. And so they might not know them very well, or they might not understand that they have some differences in the ways that they play certain games. And so we'll go out there and we'll bridge that gap between just individual students so that there's this universal expectation around certain rules and how to get in and out of a game, how to solve problems. We support youth leaders at recess. So there's junior coaches who are out there supporting other kids. It's that peer-to-peer relationship. A lot of it is those like tier one rock, paper, scissors, if we can't agree on maybe who got to a spot at a certain time. We dive into transition systems, so how students get to and from recess, so they all feel prepared when they're getting ready to go out and play. They know what they're going to do, and it supports them going back into the classroom. So we also like to make sure that the classroom is a space that isn't left out, in that they're learning those games at recess, but they're hearing the same things in class, how to solve conflicts, how to bring play into educational spaces. And so we kind of take anything going to recess, leaving recess, during recess, to just make it more inviting for kids.
That's great. And what a good training ground, just for life in general too, of going out there and interacting with somebody that maybe you don't know before, and when you're a kid like that. And for the organization, can you tell us just how you engage with the community, how you go about, doing that? Because obviously you're going to these schools, but how, from an organizational structure, do you go out and are able to do that?
Yeah, so we have folks that are at those schools on a daily, but then it kind of trickles up. So we are in spaces with administration and district leadership to maybe bring that support district-wide. So we do a lot of things where we'll have folks come to recess. We'll have them come and talk to the kids that are involved in these programs and get like a true live testimonial and to experience it for themselves. We do a lot of something called corporate play dates, where we'll go into corporate spaces and bring play to them and just show them what we're doing at recess can also be done in a bunch of different spaces, and that we should all be thinking about play and how to be playful and communicate with others. So we engage the community in all different spaces: adults, kids, principals, CEOs of other organizations that also work with youth. That's another big space that we find ourselves in, is working with other youth-serving organizations. They already have relationships with certain communities, and we want to make sure that we are getting it out there, and that so folks know who we are, but that it's kind of alongside another trusted person that might be already in a community as well.
What do you think is one of the most important things for the public to know about Playworks and what you do?
Oh, wow. That's so many things. No, it's just that kids learn so quick. Kids are, when we are out there with them at recess, teaching them these things, they catch on so quickly and so enthusiastically. And It's always fun to go see. So I always encourage people to come to a recess with us, volunteer, just go out there and see it. But know that these kids, they are really impacted by it. They're making such monumental changes of just maybe jumping into play when they haven't before. And so I think it's just super important for kids to feel confident. They're the future, and I want them to be able to solve problems and work together. And I think we create a lot of great space for that. And the impact is pretty grand once it does. And it
Yeah, that's a lot of valuable lessons in so many different aspects and facets that can be learned right there. Because you just brought up another one I didn't even think about that. Confidence to get into a game that maybe you're not comfortable with or haven't done before, and getting over that too. And so a lot of great things. Well, talking about that, confidence and going into what's going to be happening here next week, the Oregon Charity Championship, the golf tournament is taking place, and if Playworks were to win this tournament and win those funds, what would you do with those?
As I'm sure many folks know, funding is always a big thing for us to be able to partner with people and work with other organizations. And so we would use that funding to support that, to maybe get into a community or an area we haven't been able to touch down in, or to support a school or another organization in getting Playwork services. So yeah, it takes money for us to make sure that we can give this services to schools. And so I think we would use that to support as many kids as we could.
And Taylor, will you be competing in the tournament?
It will not be me, thank goodness. I don't think I would be the one to bring that money back for us. It is someone that I know though, and I really, really trust him to do it. But yeah, it will not be me.
Yeah, I've said this to everybody too. You wouldn't want me on that team either. Yeah, it's. Well, again, the tournament coming up October 7th, and as you mentioned, funding is important. I would imagine, support in a lot of different ways is really critical for an organization like yours, and for the public out there, for everybody, whether it's to support financially or support in some other way that could be beneficial. What's the best way for them to engage with Playworks and find out all that information?
Yeah, so on our website, you can find the Pacific Northwest region and connect with us. We have a few charity events that happen in the spring, kickball tournament and foot golf. And so we always tell folks those are great spaces to come out, and that is where you can support both financially and you'll get to see kind of what we do and hear those testimonials. But if not, we would always love folks to come out to a recess. They can find us on that website and look us up. We'd love to show them exactly what we do.
Fantastic. Well, Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time in talking about this and all of the amazing work that you do there with that organization and what Playworks is doing for helping out all these kids. And as you mentioned, they're the future, and helping them understand and learn new things, learn new ways to engage, conflict resolution, confidence, all the stuff that you were just talking about, like really, really amazing stuff. So thank you for being here with us to talk about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited for the championship next week.
Yeah, it should be good, and hopefully good weather. And for everybody who's joining us too, this is Fox 12 Now. We're live here every weekday, so we cover a wide range of topics, and sometimes we get to talk to people like Taylor about the amazing work that she's doing there with Playworks, and we cover a lot here. So you can always go and watch all of our segments at the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel. You can go to kptv.com, click on the Fox 12 Now tab, or of course on the Fox 12 Oregon app. But that's it for now. I'm going to sign off. I will talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.